Welcome to the explainer. So, what if, instead of just walking around with a basic, boring tote, you could carry a vibrant masterpiece that you actually created yourself? Today, we're going to break down a totally foolproof, step-by-step method for beginners to achieve this stunning modern batik style. We're literally turning simple fabric into a brilliant expression of your own creativity. Let's get right into it. Here's our creative roadmap for today. First up, we'll prep with the right fabrics and paints. Then we'll sketch and transfer our pattern. After that, the really fun part, creating those watercolor spots. Next, we'll add some crisp graphics and detailing. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with fixation, which just means drying and ironing our piece. Okay, part 1, preparation, fabrics and paints, creating the right foundation. Now, you might be wondering, can I just paint on absolutely anything? Not quite. These specific natural fabrics, linen, cotton, and viscose, are absolutely non-negotiable if you want your colors to truly pop. Here's why. Because natural fibers are highly porous, they literally drink the paint right in. This not only gives you incredible, vibrant brightness right off the bat, but it also guarantees the durability of your design. Synthetic materials, they just let the paint sit right on top of the surface where it's going to easily crack or peel off. Nobody wants that. And speaking of paint, you can't just raid your regular craft drawer for this one. The absolute secret weapon here is special fabric acrylics. Why? Well, they're formulated with specific flexible binders. This is what perfectly bridges everyday utility with lasting artistic expression. They give us those deeply rich colors we're looking for, but crucially, they provide incredible wear resistance. Once they dry, they lock so securely into the weave of the material that your shopper bag can bend, fold, and move around without the paint cracking at all. Which brings us to the modern decorative style we'll be creating today. It's this really fascinating aesthetic tension. On one hand, you've got these incredibly loose, free-flowing, brightly colored watercolor spots, right? But then, on the other hand, you overlay them with strict, precise graphic contours. It's this exact balance between chaotic, vibrant energy and crisp, deliberate structure that makes this specific floral batik style look so incredibly contemporary and visually striking. Moving right along to section 2, sketch and pattern transfer, from idea to fabric. By following 3 precise steps, you'll safely move your design right from your imagination onto the physical fabric without making any permanent mistakes. So step 1, choose a bold composition. Think really large, expressive flowers and oversized leaves. Step 2, and this is a big one, sketch your balanced layout on paper first. You really don't want all your flowers accidentally bunched up in one corner. And finally, step 3, transfer those perfect contours onto your bag using carbon paper. It's seriously a foolproof method to get your proportions exactly right before a single drop of paint ever touches the fabric. Now, there is a golden rule here. The transfer lines absolutely must be light and clear so they can be easily traced over with paint later. You've got to keep your hand incredibly light during the transfer process so the underlying sketch doesn't ruin your final masterpiece. If you press way too hard with that carbon paper, you're going to end up with thick, dark, messy lines. And those might show right through your lighter paint colors or even worse, smear when you add water. A light, clear guide is literally all you need to keep your artwork looking super clean and professional. All right, section 3, creating watercolor spots, adding vibrant life. Using a brush, you'll lay down an energetic foundation with a highly saturated palette. We're talking blue, pink, purple, green, yellow, and orange. The goal here? Absolutely do not stay neatly inside the lines. You want to apply various sized spots of these colors roughly in the areas where your flowers and leaves are going to be. The idea is to create this chaotic, beautiful underpainting where the colors just mingle and interact organically on the surface of your bag. And here is a brilliant little trick to remember. The paint can be slightly diluted with water to achieve smooth color transitions and a really cool watercolor effect. Even though we're using acrylics, adding just a tiny bit of water allows the pigments to actually bleed into the natural fibers of the cotton or linen. This creates these gorgeous soft edges and gradients. It gives the whole piece a remarkably airy, delicate feel that contrasts so perfectly with the heavy, sturdy durability of the eco bag itself. Okay, on to section 4. Graphics and detailing. Defining the shape. There is a very distinct separation between these 2 painting phases. Phase 1, the color spots, is wet, loose, and very colorful. But phase 2, the detailing, is dry, sharp, and highly controlled. You'll be using a black contour tool or a very fine brush to lay down light, arbitrary lines over the dried color base. And listen, patience is your absolute best friend here. You must let those color spots dry completely before adding the graphic lines. If you don't, your crisp details will just bleed into a muddy mess, so give it time.
So what exactly are we detailing with these black contours? You'll want to focus on the flower petals and centers, leaves and their inner veins, decorative strokes, and fine structural elements. These specific arbitrary lines are what finally give those loose pools of color their recognizable floral shape and modern artistic flair. You're not just tracing the color spots perfectly, you're sketching right over them, sometimes intentionally letting the colors spill completely outside your lines. That deliberate imperfection, that's what makes it true art.
When you're detailing, there's a pretty clear order of operations. Step 1, draw your main flower contours to anchor the piece. Step 2, add those fine veins and strokes for a bit of extra expression. And finally, step 3, surround the main composition with colored splashes, small circles, and dots. Honestly, that final touch is what truly adds lightness and dynamic movement to the entire piece. It gives the design a sense of bursting energy, naturally keeping the eye moving across the canvas of the bag. It just turns a static drawing into something that feels completely alive.
Finally, Section 5, Fixation, Drying and Ironing, Securing the Magic.
This simple 3-step process is absolutely crucial because it locks the acrylic polymers directly into the natural fibers of the bag. First, patience again. Leave the bag to dry completely according to your paint's instructions, usually around 24 hours. Second, you want to cover the beautifully painted area with a piece of plain cotton fabric or some simple baking paper. And third, fix the paint permanently using a hot iron. You literally just iron right over that protective layer, and the heat perfectly bonds the paint to the fabric on a molecular level. As the saying goes, this will ensure the durability of the drawing for daily use. If you skip this step, all your beautiful work is just going to wash away the first time it gets wet. By taking 5 extra minutes to properly heat fix the paint, you guarantee your vibrant design survives daily life, rain or shine. Remember, you're creating a functional item here. A shopper bag is meant to be tossed into cars, stuffed full of groceries, and carried through all kinds of weather. This ensures your bright, beautiful floral design will stay stunning and perfectly intact for years. We've seen how simple and incredibly rewarding this whole process can be. By combining the right natural fabrics, vibrant fabric acrylics, and a really fun balance of loose watercolor spots and sharp graphic details, you can create something totally unique. So I'll leave you with this question. What will blossom on your first everyday shopper bag? Go grab some natural fabric, pick up your favorite colors, and let your creativity flow today. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.